Tuesday of the sixth week in ordinary time of the year, February 18th, 2025. Our readings were taken from the book of Genesis and as well as the Gospel of Mark. In the first reading, we are made to understand that the heart of man can be tricky. The heart of man is prone to failure. The heart of man is wicked and evil, to a point that God regretted having created man. But God did not give up on man, because God is love and God is faithful. As long as there is still someone that God can find delight in, a person of upright character, God can still build on that individual, on that person or community or a nation. And it happens to be Noah. And through Noah, God renews the face of the earth. Likewise, in the gospel with Jesus and his disciples, the Pharisees and the scribes, he warns them against the attitudes, the failures, the weakness of the scribes and the Pharisees. And in that he calls them for something higher, for uprightness, for faith, for trust in God, in him. The disciples were worried about not having enough bread for feeding. Instead of putting their faith and trust in God, they have short memories of what Jesus had done in the past, the feeding of 5,000 men and as well as the 4,000, and there were a lot of leftovers. Jesus reminded them, how soon can you forget? All Jesus was doing was to invoke faith in them. Irrespective of the situation they may find themselves, to have faith in God, to have faith in Jesus, that he can do all things. He can make things happen. He tells us that miracles do happen, but it's not something that is manipulated. Miracle is not magic. Not necessarily out of our desires and wants, then miracle immediately start happening. No. It happens because God desires it to happen. It happens because it is the will of God. And God oftentimes uses it to pass a message, to invoke faith on those that he calls. You remember the conversation of Jesus and the Pharisees at one point, and then he says, "Were not a people in Israel who were hungry?" And yet God sent Elijah to the region of Sidon, to the woman of Zarephath, during the time of famine, and there he found a woman with her son. And there also, hungry, not having enough to eat. They trusted in Elijah. They had faith in him, in his words. And there he multiplied the flours and multiplies the oil that lasted to the end of the famine. Such is the invitation that we are given today, to have faith, to put our trust in God. Irrespective of what we are going through, which I am not aware of, I don't know. But God is calling us to commit those things to him. The Lord who fed 5,000 with few bread and fish 4,000 as well. Nothing is impossible for the Lord if we put our faith in Him. At God's own time, at God's own will, He will do miraculous deeds in our lives and with our lives. Have a blessed day.